What's up, guys? How you doing? Thanks for tuning in with me for a few minutes here. I'm sitting in my kitchen with the first few spare minutes I've had in quite a long time, and I had a little bit of time to make a video, so I figured I would take a car part out of the pile of stuff I have to go into the cars and pick one to open up with you guys and show you. So here I have the P3 digital gauge. This is a company that makes integrated gauges that are supposed to go for the OEM look. Just so you guys know, I paid full price for this, just like everything else. I haven't been sponsored or enticed to say anything about them. So this is something that I bought just based off a little bit of research and the functionality I was looking for. As some of you F10 M5 guys might know, I mean, obviously there's no boost gauge or anything like that in the cars, and that's something, especially once you're tuned, that really kind of sucks because, I mean, if you have a high horsepower twin turbo car, you kind of want to know what kind of numbers you're running. But so here we go. This is a company that makes stuff for all applications. I have already peeked inside a little bit, but we'll go ahead and open it up and show you guys. I didn't get too far with it. Did you already have some tutorials and stuff on how to install it, but pretty nice, clean, and easy. Looks pretty simple to follow. I mean, it's pretty much plug and play. It's just an OBD based unit, which was definitely a deciding factor between this and one of the other gauge options that is for the F10 M5 is the fact that this one just plugs into the OBD port. The other one you have to actually do some wiring behind the dash to get it to work. So I liked that, and this one also takes up the side vent off to the passenger side rather than one of the middle vents, which blocks off a lot more airflow. I live in Phoenix. I definitely don't want to lose any AC airflow. So here's the cable. Comes with this thing. It's got a little serial port. I'll show you where that connects to in a second. This part right here, before I forget to talk about it, is a little external analog boost sensor. You just put a boost reference right onto there, and you can choose the channel within this gauge that you want it to read. So rather than using the OBD source, you can use the analog source. This was a option that I added to mine, which they recommend for if you have tuned vehicles. Sometimes you need it. I'm going to just try it with the standard OBD method before I try this because I don't really want to run vacuum lines into the car. It's a pain, and I don't want to do it if I don't have to. So we're going to try it this way first, see if it's accurate, see what happens. If not, then I'll have to be plumbing this, and I'll show you guys how to do that too if I end up needing to do it. So here we go. In this little package here is the serial connector that this connects to here. And on the other side of this here, sorry, my dog's whining. On the other side of this here is where the Ethernet cord for the data for the gauge goes. And that little guy is in here. Everything's packaged really nice. I don't think anything would get damaged with the way they did it. It came really well, it looks like. So this is basically just a little LCD screen, basically looks like, with some extra insulation around the back, and of course some protective plastic. Actually, I think it goes this way. We'll find out as soon as I get the vent out of the car. It's got the little buttons for programming on there, a little very flat serial cable, Ethernet style cable that plugs into this side of the connector. Oh, by the way, these serial boxes are the brain of the operation, so it'll have it'll be coded for whatever application it's going to be plugged into, and based on some of the stuff they wrote on mine, it looks like it's one that's meant to be used and sold with some of these little aftermarket or some of the add-ons to the original unit. So yeah, I think it is based on whatever options you order it with. But yeah, pretty simple. So this thing's going to be installed in the side vent gauge, which I will show you guys in a second. Plugs into this thing that you just hide behind the side dash cover. Plugs into the serial connector there, and you run that down to the OBD is pretty much the gist of what I'm gathering from all this. Looks pretty well put together, and most importantly, looks awesome and simple. Alright, out here in the garage now with the M5. I just started poking around a little bit to see exactly what to do, and how far I've gotten. It's taken me about 4.7 seconds to get done. Super easy. First thing here is this side panel cover that goes on the side of the dash. Pops off. It's just a little press poppy clip things. Those actually look super easy, so hopefully those don't break. And then also the little trim piece here that has the headlight indicator knob built into it. Not focusing again. Those are also just little clips. Just stick your fingers under there and you can pretty much just pop those out. You can also use a panel removal tool, probably make it even a little easier, but no big deal. Here's the AC vent in question that gauge is going to be installed into. So once you have this trim panel off, real easy, there's some Torx screws right there. They look like they're probably going to be like T15s, maybe T20s, pretty small. Then after those are released, it looks like in here, probably not going to be able to see any of that anyway, but should just be able to pop right out the front. So I'm going to go and grab the Torx tool, and we'll see if it is really that easy. Alright, well, it was pretty much that easy. You know, it was a little tricky. This car's a virgin. Nobody really has ever taken it apart or messed with it before, so everything was still pretty tight and intact. Those tabs down there were definitely original installation and have never been moved before, but no big deal. Not a whole lot of work. As you can see right here, just like every other overly complicated piece of this car, there is an electrical connector right there, harness on the side of this vent. I guess the airflow knob there does control something, unless there's something I don't know about, like a temperature sensor or something in this vent, but who knows. So just take that off and don't break it. But now the vent is out of the car. At this point in time, you could have purchased the P3 gauge pre-installed in another one of these vents, in which case you would just put the new vent in there, keep this one aside, and save it for later. I didn't bother, because if I just had bought a pre-assembled one, just would have been another $100 or whatever, and I probably would have ended up losing this one or breaking it or something anyway, so I figured it's not a big deal just to take a couple of the slats out and do the gauge install myself. Plus, it shows you guys how to do that in case that's the same thing you might do. So we'll take this vent back inside now and try to discombobulate it and put the gauge in. So the first order of business here is to take a look at these little pry tabs that hold the face of the gauge, or the vent onto the ducting. A couple there, a couple on the side right there. Hopefully nothing behind all those goodies. And it doesn't really look like anything down there. Maybe that just pops in. Oh yeah, there is. There's one right there. Yeah, one right there. Okay, we're going to try and pop those without popping them off in a way that they shouldn't be, because that's the kind of luck that I would probably give this little project here. And seems like they work, so I'm going to work at this for 30 seconds and then I'll bring you back. Alright, well that definitely took both hands. If it's in your budget to have a third hand surgically put on your body before doing this project, it will definitely help you out, because you have to release all the clips on all sides of this vent at the same time, and yeah, that was no fun. Okay, so the next thing we have to do here, from what I gather at least, is remove these top two vent slats from the gauge, which are into this side, and they look like they remove from the adjusting side first. So I'm going to try and bring back this little adjuster thing right there, pop out that little pin that goes in. The first one actually worked really nice, because that's nice aluminum and there was no break in that. Unfortunately, these middle three are plastic, and there's a strong possibility of breaking those. So I'm going to try and remove that second one, excuse me, and see if this works out. Alright, shockingly enough, it was a success. A little bit of puzzle piece action going on, but this is actually kind of a cool design how this vent's made, and everything, probably still because it's relatively new, but it's good enough quality to where it didn't all snap as soon as I started taking it apart. But get the plastic one and the aluminum one both out of the way. Slider is back assembled and it works. And now I've got the nice London look here on my driver's side vent. So I'm going to try and line this gauge up here, see exactly how it pops in, and if I continue to get this lucky, maybe we'll have something that actually works. We're on a roll, guys. This is going too well. Too well. The pins were actually in the right place on the sides of the gauge, and they did indeed pop in right there where the old vent slats were supposed to. So only thing I do notice is you do lose a little bit of the up and down adjustment of the vent. When you adjust it up and down, it kind of hits the top of the vent thingy right there, or the gauge, but no big deal. I'll take it for how well this is actually working out. So it appears as though this RJ45 connector will sneak down here. Oh, speaking too soon. Might have to try the other side. No, I mean, that's the side it wants it on. Come on. Alright, All right, it will slip up that way. So do that, and then I guess for extra security of the cable, even though I didn't think the AC gets that cold or the heat gets that hot, but potentially there is a rubberized coating that seems kind of thick on the top of this cable. You can see it's for the length measurement of approximately how far this thing goes into the gauge. So we go without twisting it all up and making a big bird's nest inside the vent. Pull all that through. Fishing it, fishing it. All right. It looks like we may have done something right, guys. Nice. And I know once you get out the back here, I wouldn't assume that you need to notch anything. They didn't mention anything about it. You're supposed to put alongside there along the insulation tape, and it's just supposed to head down to your module in the dash. So if all of those statements stand true, it looks like we have an assembled vent gauge piece. Nice. Alright, I'm going to try and snap this stuff back together, and we will go see if it continues to fit the car. Guys, this is insanity. What we have here is a good old-fashioned hell yeah brother moment, because this should actually work. That's insane. I would say that looks pretty good. I'm not going to count my blessings yet, though. I mean, that kind of works, but we're going to try and actually connect this stuff and see if the thing fires on before I get too happy about it. So, if you're real OG enough that you have been here since my old car audio video days, which I'm not saying are over, but when that's all I really did, you know that I'm definitely a wiring guru, so I'm going to tidy this up as best as possible. Cable tie everything, I want it all secure. Everybody pretty much just shoves all these wires back here in the little pouch cubby hole and throws a cover over it. I want it cleaner than that, so I'm just gonna zip it all up real quick, plug it in, and then we will start it up and see if it works. Looking good, guys, looking good. They're all in there. Went down, I already put the OBD plug in here. Pretty cool plug, it's nice and flat, so you're not gonna kick it when you get in the car. And the cord even comes out the right direction, so that way it just goes straight into the kick panel without sticking down. I just routed that flat little cable right up along the trim here. Snaked it in back there where it's going to be hidden by that cover. Got all the cabling all nice and bundled up, and I secured the little box to the brace back there, and all looks ready to go. Alright guys, well I do need to play with how to configure the thing. I mean, it's like trying to figure out Braille, trying to figure out what all the abbreviations mean in there, but it does work. Car's running, and yeah, gauge is here and the gauge works. So I don't know what the 10 means. It probably doesn't mean anything, but got all kinds of menus in there to choose what car model it's supposed to be for, what your boost source is, all kinds of great stuff. But I turned the car on and it works. So, what's up guys? I wanted to try and make sure I could get a little clip of this boost gauge working to include with this install video. So haven't really figured out all the details of exactly how all its functions work yet, but you can see here we are, and at least it does work with the boost function, which you can kind of see there. I'll step on it real quick. As you can see, it does work pretty quick. So if I play with it some more and I get in tune with all the details of the different measurements it does, I'll try and make a little video of that, but I just wanted to make sure I could get the thing actually working on video to include with that video. So as always, thanks for watching guys. I hope you found this helpful. If you have one of these cars, feel free to always ask any kind of questions and I'll try to help you out if I can. Please subscribe, like the video, and leave me your feedback. Thank you.